Good evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. Today is Tuesday, May the 21st, 2019. I'm Jim Ford.
And I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, the National Center for Disease Control says backyard chicken flocks are to blame for salmonella infections in Tennessee and other states. The Tennessee Department of Commerce and Insurance is warning about robocall scams. The American Legion Ladies Auxiliary is organizing their annual poppy sales scheduled for this weekend. And May is National Mental Health Month. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Ford of Winchester. Check out the 2018 Ford F-150 as low as $34,739. That's Russell Barnett Ford on 41A in Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
Cool off at Southern Middle Tennessee's newest water park, Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. 3 25-foot water slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers, tasty food items available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 to 9 p.m. Sundays, 1 to 6. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman.
And this is Pat Welch, and we're here for an endorsement for the Conversations with John and Pat Marathon.
And I'm management. And management is proud to announce, after 100 segments plus one encore of the Conversations with John and Pat, we have decided to do a marathon on Memorial Day weekend starting at 4 o'clock Sunday the 27th and running through 6 o'clock on Monday the 28th. And guys, we wouldn't be able to do this without some generous folks out there in our community who have agreed to sponsor this. How about telling us who the sponsors are?
Weichert Realtors, Joe Orr and Associates, my friends.
Builder Supply Company, where I first started.
Stan McNabb, automobile dealerships out on the Manchester and the Shelbyville Highway.
Lester Green, McCord, and Toma Insurance.
And Smart Bank of Tullahoma on North Jackson Street, where I bank.
And Clayton Shoe Store with Miss Florence Hull.
Where everybody buys their shoes.
That's right. And you can get your foot measured.
Get your foot measured there, and I tell you what, folks, management is very, very excited to be able to do this. These guys have done a great job over the past couple of years sharing not just Tullahoma history, but history of our whole region around here, and it's important to all of us that we learn and understand and appreciate that. So, folks, don't you forget Memorial Day weekend on Sunday the 27th, starting at 4, going till Monday the 28th, ending at 6. It's Conversations with John and Pat Marathon.
Can we ask one question?
What's that?
Is it going to be back-to-back solid with just
solid
us and our fine sponsors?
Solid, baby, solid.
Wow.
Watch out, Andy Griffith. Here they come.
Welcome back. The Center for Disease Control and public health officials in several states, including Tennessee, are investigating multi-state outbreaks of salmonella infections linked to contact with live poultry such as chicks and ducklings in backyard flocks. There have been 52 ill people reported from 21 states. 5 people have been hospitalized. No deaths have been reported. About 1/4 of the ill people are children younger than 5 years. The people who got sick reported getting chicks and ducklings from places such as agricultural stores, websites, and hatcheries. People can get sick from salmonella from touching live poultry or their environment. Birds carrying the bacteria can appear healthy and clean.
The CDC offers this advice to citizens. Always wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water right after touching live poultry or anything in their environment. Use hand sanitizer if soap and water are not immediately available. Do not let live poultry inside the house, including in bathrooms. And be especially careful to keep them out of areas where food or drink is prepared, served, or stored, such as kitchens and outdoor patios. Set aside a pair of shoes to wear while taking care of your birds and keep those outside of your home. Most people infected with salmonella develop diarrhea, fever, and stomach cramps 12 to 72 hours after eating contaminated food. The illness usually lasts 4 to 7 days, and most people recover without treatment.
The Tennessee Department of Commerce and Insurance is joining the Federal Communications Commission to help alert Tennessee consumers to increase reports of one-ring scam robocalls targeting specific area codes in bursts, often calling multiple times in the middle of the night. While these calls may appear as if they are originating from the U.S., scammers use spoofing techniques to mask their locations and true identities. In reality, one-ring scammers use international numbers from regions that also begin with 3-digit codes. For example, area code 232 is from Sierra Leone in the United States, and area code 809 goes to the Dominican Republic. Advances in technology allow massive amounts of calls to be made cheaply and easily.
Generally, the one-ring scams take place when a robocaller calls a number and hangs up after a ring or two. They may call repeatedly, hoping the consumer returns the call. If consumers return the calls, they risk being connected to a phone number outside of the United States. As a result, consumers may be charged a fee for connecting, along with a significant per-minute fee for as long as the consumer stays on the phone. These charges may show up on a phone bill as premium services, international calling, or toll calling. Consumers should never call these numbers back. News reports have indicated widespread calls across the United States, including Tennessee, where Knoxville and Memphis news stations have reported consumers complaining about being targeted by these robocalls. If you believe you are being contacted by a one-ring scammer, remember, do not call back these numbers in which you do not recognize. And stay with us. We'll have more News Leader on 6 after these messages.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Ford in Winchester. Check out the 2018 Ford Taurus, yours today for $26,992. That's Russell Barnett Ford on 41A in Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
Can you imagine a world without beauty, without color, without creativity, without art? Well, neither can we. Keep arts alive and experience all kinds of arts and crafts at the 2nd Annual Arts Alive Tullahoma on the newly renovated lawn of the South Jackson Civic Center, May 25th and 26th. For details, visit TullahomaArtsCouncil.com and come spend the day at our fun, family-friendly Arts Festival.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Welcome back. The American Legion Post 43 Ladies Auxiliary will be conducting their annual poppy sale this Friday and Saturday. Fran Gray and Diana Robinson tell us more.
The poppy was adopted on September 27, 1920, as the poppy to remember all those who had perished in service during World War I.
Yeah.
And so the poppy, every time you see that, you think of those soldiers who fought in the Great War and died.
Yeah.
So tell us about how our auxiliary is going to be distributing poppies this year.
We're going to be the Memorial Weekend, the 24th and 25th. Friday the 24th will be at Traders and Ascend Credit Union, and then Saturday will be at Walmart and Kroger. That would be the 25th. And the mayor will have a proclamation that for the 25th of May will be Poppy Day for Tullahoma.
Well, good,
Yeah.
good. You know, it's good to have your poppy on Poppy Day, but it's also good to keep it. I think most of our vehicles have had a poppy until the red kind of fades away because we want to remember our veterans all the time, those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. So it's important to keep our poppies around, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Well, we are happy to be able to distribute these, and there's no cost for them, is there?
No, it's just a donation.
Donations.
And it's our only fundraiser, and the money goes to the Alvin C. York Ward at Murfreesboro at the hospital, or the Veterans Home and hospital, and then we do the life care bingo, and we do some stuff in the area for we have people that need help, and we donate to different causes and try to help the teachers a little bit, and we do what we can, but that's our only fundraiser, so it really does help that people remember those veterans that day and help the ones that are still alive.
That's right. That's right. So many veterans are forgotten. They go to war or they go to train, and then they may be forgotten. Unfortunately, there are a lot of veterans in our country who are homeless, who are jobless. They really give up their lives for service, and many come back wounded, and maybe we don't always see those wounds. Many have post-traumatic stress disorder, and it's very real, and it's very tragic in a lot of families. So we want to support our veterans during their active service and on their return as well. And the American Legion Auxiliary has been visiting with veterans at the Alvin C. York facility for years and years, and we adopt different ones. We try to help. We've helped women as well as men. They're at the facility. We like to celebrate holidays with them, give them gifts, and it's not as easy as it used to be.
No.
But we try to give them things they need. We give them money for the canteen. They have a canteen there at the hospital, and they can go and make purchases with canteen books.
Right,
Is that right?
Yeah, they do that. They try to do that at least at Christmas time, and then they have other parties during the year with them and bring them food, whatever it's restricted, and they have to go through people to make sure they don't bring something they can't have, you know.
Right.
So.
But we want to emphasize again that the American Legion and the American Legion Auxiliary are very active. When the old post closed on Washington Street, the American Legion and the Auxiliary did not stop. We have remained active all this time, and we have a post home on Northwest Atlantic Street. So come see us at Kroger and Walmart, Ascend Federal Credit Union, and Traders Bank downtown.
We'll be right back with more News Leader on 6.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. The Tennessee Supreme Court has ruled in favor of the city of Tullahoma in a lawsuit involving the distribution of liquor taxes. Tullahoma City Attorney Steve Worsham explains.
I'm sure that all of you all have read the newspaper and you're aware of the fact that we finally have put an end to the suit between the Manchester Board of Education, Coffee County, and the City of Tullahoma and the City Board of Education, all those parties together relative to the disposition of the liquor taxes that the City of Tullahoma has been collecting for a number of years. And the Supreme Court, as we thought they would, ruled in favor of the cities. So we've saved the city. The newspaper reported $400 and some odd thousand, $387,488, and that's the amount that they sued for. But they also sued for interest on that, and the suit was brought in 2014. So the interest on that would make it well over $400,000 that we would have owed had we lost that litigation. And so we feel very, very good about that. They can file a petition to rehear, but I feel very sure that the court will deny it. So I think that matter is over. There's one more matter. Manchester Board of Education versus the City of Tullahoma, which is now in arbitration. We held that in abeyance until the Supreme Court decided that issue in the main case. We think that that'll go away. We'll take some action to make sure that it does. This was begun when Mr. Morrison was city attorney, but Mr. Gifford and I from our law firm then carried the ball after that until the Tennessee Municipal League agreed, because there were 5 different municipalities involved in this particular question, to take over the defense of all of those municipalities, and they did a wonderful job. And so I think I have to give them the credit for what they did, but I'm glad that that matter is an end, and this is another almost $500,000 that the city has perhaps to use for other good things in our town. Do y'all have any questions about that?
Thank you.
Other than that, we're just doing the usual routine things that we do, many of which are unmentionable in public, so thank you very much.
The Tullahoma Board of Mayor and Aldermen recently approved an application for a beer permit for Skate Escape in the city. However, Alderman Jimmy Blanks questioned how skating and beer consumption would work together.
4 items of new business. Item number 19, BB15, beer application on-premise permit for Skate Escape. Mr. Anthony Heed will be the manager in charge of beer sales, 200 Lifford Mill Road, Tullahoma. Let me ask you to step to the podium, please, sir. Welcome.
Hi, Mr. Mayor.
Have you received a copy of the beer laws of Tullahoma?
Yes, the pamphlet with the, yes, sir.
Have you read that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. You understand the sale of beer is a very important responsibility.
Yes, sir. I've been a bartender for several years. I haven't applied for a license or anything, but I have my ABC, certification, and all I've ever worked under is on premise. So I'm pretty familiar with it.
Okay, good. Ms. Golden, is everything in order?
I believe it was going to be subject to the final fire inspection.
Okay, so we will get a motion in a second. Whoever does that, we need to remember. So what do you have in place to assure the board that beer will not be sold to underage individuals?
It is my understanding that on the evenings that we're serving beer, it will be exclusively for adults that night. There will be, as far as I'm knowing, even under 18. Yeah, all of our employees will be 18 and up, and no customers will be let in that are under 21. It'll all be of-age customers.
Okay, that's interesting.
So you will not be having parties for children and be serving alcohol at all then?
No, absolutely.
So
there'll never be a time that the two shall meet. It'll always be separate businesses. If we have nights with beer, it'll be for the adult crowd, we'll play different music and all that. And then there will be none of that in normal, weekend hours when we have kids there.
Okay. Any other questions?
How does beer and skating work?
I guess that's to be discovered. I suppose it's we're gonna when you go to the Applebee's or Ruby Tuesdays, you have a drink limit. If you're gonna be on wheels, you're probably not gonna be drinking. You're there with somebody else or something.
Just get your phone ready.
Yeah, I reckon.
Video ready. Okay, Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion, Dr. Blanks.
Second.
Second by Mr. Edwards. Any discussion? All those in favor of the, whoever made the motion, subject to a final fire inspection?
Subject to the final fire inspection.
Approval.
And approval.
Has everyone voted?
Sorry.
Motion Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck.
More News Leader on 6 is coming up in just a moment.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma. Check out the 2019 fully loaded V6 Kia Sorento, up to $6,400 off original MSRP. That's Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Welcome back. May is Mental Health Month, and Peggy Burton spoke with 2 representatives of a Manchester support group.
If all of you knew this, but this is Mental Health Month, and I have 2 special friends here that deal with the NAMI Association that meets in Manchester.
Yes.
And this is Brenda and this is Pam. They're sisters. I know their last names, but we don't have to go there. They're beautiful people inside and out and are dealing with a lot of mental illness issues. And Brenda, just tell me let's tell them where the meeting is and people might want to come.
I'm the support group facilitator. We have a support group that meets in Manchester at the First Presbyterian Church the first Thursday of every month from 6:30 to 8:30. We actually have dual classes that meet at the same time. One is for those who have a mental illness, and it's facilitated by a gentleman who has a mental illness, so he knows.
He's been there.
He's been there. He knows
for
what
a long
you're.
time.
Yes,
he's taken training,
and he's been trained to be the facilitator. Pam and I facilitate a support group for family and friends. So the good thing about having dual classes is family members are free to talk. A lot of times when we're all together and their loved one is there, they won't say what they want to say because they don't want to hurt feelings.
Yeah, and I think the important thing to mention is that I've been to these meetings, and at these meetings, you don't necessarily have to have a mental illness. You love someone or want to help someone that may be suffering from a mental illness, such as PTSD, bipolar.
Yes.
The list is long.
Right, very long. And that's why the groups are separated, because we give the support for the caregiver. And then the Bridges group gives the support for the person with the mental illness.
The person with the illness.
Right.
And I think that in my case, I have always felt better if I carried on a conversation with people understood what I was coming from.
Yes. Right.
And I think that's what happens there. I doubt that there's a family out there that has not been touched.
Exactly.
In some way by
1 in
mental
5
illness.
people has a mental illness.
Exactly.
And everybody knows someone with a mental illness or has someone in their family with a mental illness of some sort. Even PTSD or anxiety issues are considered a mental illness.
And I think what we need to remember is it's an illness.
Yes.
It's a medical illness.
Right.
They aren't acting that way just to make you mad or just to get on your under your skin. Right. They have the brain's malfunctioning.
It's not wired
It's
exactly
not
right.
wired right. And they wonder why a person doesn't have problems for years. Neurons in the brain misfire, and that can happen at any time. It can be caused by a traumatic event, it can be caused by medication, it can be caused by numerous things, and they aren't acting that way
because they're ugly and mean people.
Right. Their brain is malfunctioning, and you know, the thing that gets me is we don't talk to Uncle Bob because he's got schizophrenia and he's just weird. Uncle Bob is a person. Uncle Bob needs support. Uncle Bob, you know, is not doing that.
And yes, they're irritating. They can be very irritating to you. But when you understand, when you come to the meetings and you understand other people out there are dealing with the same thing, it helps you, and it helps you understand how to. We have classes that we give. It's called Family to Family, and we help people learn to cope with that. We talk about the medications. We talk about coping skills.
The most important thing is to not raise your voice. When you
Yes.
raise your voice to a person with a mental illness, it's threatening to them, and it makes the situation 10 times worse.
People under normal circumstances don't like someone yelling at them.
Of course.
You know,
That's not a
and
good
someone
way to
raising
raise a
their
child.
voice.
Right. You don't
And
yell
so
at
someone
them.
with a mental illness, you can imagine how they feel because they've got all this going on inside their head, and now someone's yelling at them. So
The good thing is so many celebrities are
Yes.
coming out as having a mental illness,
Right.
and that's kind of making people understand it's okay.
Yeah, and it
It's
happens to
okay.
everybody.
You don't have to be embarrassed by
Right.
it. There's nothing to be embarrassed by. It's a physical disorder.
And it's an illness.
And it's
Yes.
treatable. A person
Yes.
with a mental illness can have a normal life. Some of them don't, but they can. And
Right.
and you have to understand that when you have a mental health diagnosis with a loved one, your life will change. It will never, you'll never go
be
back
the same.
to, you learn a new normal.
You learn a new normal.
You learn a new normal.
I'm sorry that our time is going so fast. Let's reiterate about the meeting. That's
Okay.
the first Thursday
Of
of
every
the
month. Every month.
at 6:30.
6:30 First Presbyterian Church in Manchester. It's right by Food Lion.
By Food, can't
Yes.
miss it. That's sort of on
Yes.
41.
Right on 41.
Right on
Yeah,
41.
right off of 41 by
Guys, I love it that you came.
Thank you,
I love
Peggy.
you, and I
We love
appreciate
you
so
too.
much what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I hope you'll come back.
We will.
And don't forget to tune into this week's Living Show tonight at 6:30 p.m., Thursday morning at 9 a.m., and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evening at 6:30 p.m. This week's guests include representatives from the Tullahoma Animal Shelter who will bring by their Doggy of the Month. Sandy and Marie will tell us about the Veterans Memorial coming to the Caboose Park, and the celebrations. Mike Inman will come by to invite everyone out to the horse show this weekend. All that and more on this week's Living.
And stay with us. We'll have your weather forecast right after these messages.
The wait is finally over. The all-new redesigned Ford Ranger is back at Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma. Stop and test drive one today at Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma on Highway 55, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party. But things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her. And now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation.
It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1941 at 96 degrees. The record low was in 1954 at 37 degrees. Average high on this day is 79 and the average low is 56. Clear weather in the forecast tonight with a low of 65 rather. Partly cloudy weather expected on Wednesday with a high of 87 and a low of 65. Partly cloudy weather again in the forecast for Thursday with a high of 90 and a low of 66. And that's our News Leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. You have a good evening.
Have a great evening.